you need to be true with yourself. In some point, this is gonna end, and I have other things to do. That's the best thing, right? I have other things to do, and but I'm gonna enjoy the last 2 3 years, four. I'm being here in boxing, and then we'll see.
Of Canelo, but they do make weight classes for a reason. Canelo is still very strong. He's a good body puncher, and he's a bigger guy naturally. So that does bring a bit of a risk to the table.
Y'all act like, oh, he ain't got no power. If he don't knock out Bud, he's gonna lose. What makes you say that? Well, he's been winning by decision without knocking out people. He's had the higher fight IQ than everybody he's fought.
Canelo Alvarez drops a shocking statement by admitting that if he loses to Terence Crawford, he might step away from boxing. He explains that everything must end at some point, and he is already preparing for that reality. Canelo reveals he wants to enjoy his final years inside the ring, while also planning to focus on family and other goals once his fighting career finally comes to a close.
Retirement on anyone or speak about retirement when they're not ready, but has retirement ever crossed your mind? Have you ever thought about that?
I always say like 37 is good time to go. It's not because I can be in the boxing anymore, but sometimes you need to do something else. So I'm being in October I turned 20 years as a professional fighter. So it's been
a long time.
a lot of years. So, but we'll see.
You're the face of boxing, and you've been professional for 20 years. Does the fear of kind of walking away ever weigh on you? Because boxing is so your identity. Yeah. Does the thought of walking away and losing that part of yourself make you want to stay in the game for longer?
No, I think boxing give me so much, and you need to be true with yourself. In some point, this is gonna end, and I have other things to do. That's the best thing, right? I have other things to do, but I'm gonna enjoy the last 2 3 years, four. I'm being here in boxing, and then we'll see.
Canelo Alvarez has openly suggested that the fight against Terence Crawford could mark the final chapter of his legendary career. Throughout his recent interviews, he has dropped subtle hints that his time in boxing is nearing its end. This sense of closure is not surprising, as Canelo has fought at the highest level for years, collecting world titles across multiple weight classes and defeating some of the toughest names of his era. The possible retirement adds weight to his clash with Crawford, as fans are now looking at it not only as another super...
Boxing Doctor News, hold on to your gloves. Fight fans, Canelo Alvarez is gearing up for a blockbuster bout against Terence Crawford this September. The undisputed super middleweight champ is making history as the first ever two-time undisputed king at 168. But here's the real knockout. Canelo's hinting at hanging up his gloves soon. He's giving himself just 3 more years in the ring, aiming to retire at 37. Why? Because he wants to leave on his own terms, not when boxing tells him to. And get this, he's not doing it for money or legacy. It's all about the love of the sport. But before he calls it quits, we might see him face off against David Benavidez or even Jake Paul. Who do you think Canelo should fight next? Drop your predictions in the comments.
Canelo Alvarez has admitted that he is considering stepping away from the sport by the end of the year. He has explained that he has already achieved everything he set out to do in boxing, including becoming a multi-division champion and establishing himself as one of the greatest fighters of his generation. With his accomplishments secured, Canelo has expressed his desire to focus on family life and personal happiness. This statement has fueled speculation that regardless of the outcome against Terence Crawford, his days as an active fighter may already be numbered.
Well, it looks like it's the end of an era. Canelo Alvarez spoke about his retirement plans and has confirmed that the end is near and that his time inside the ring is coming to an end relatively soon. Canelo Alvarez said that he is now in the stage wherein he's also thinking a lot about how he wants to focus as well as enjoy the fruits of his labor, not just for himself but for his family as well. The Mexican fighter who made his professional boxing debut at the age of 15 years old and has been professionally fighting for almost 20 years now said the following, and I quote, "From the age of 28 to 29, this is the age where I have felt best. I've always said that at 37 years old is a good age to enjoy what I have done with my family, other things in my career, and that's what I say." But I said I would debut at 18 and I did it at 15. End of quote.
During a lively debate, Simon Jordan, Paulie Malignaggi, and Roy Jones Jr. praised Canelo Alvarez as a dominant force in his natural weight class. They emphasized that Canelo's power, experience, and size make him a legend at super middleweight, where he has reigned supreme. The panel discussed how the difference in natural weight could play a decisive role in the outcome against Terence Crawford, who is moving up to face him. While Crawford's skill and adaptability are respected, the consensus among these analysts is that Canelo's advantages in strength and durability make him a uniquely challenging opponent for any fighter stepping into his division.
It's interesting because I think that the only dynamic that makes this fight competitive, in my opinion, is the difference in weight class. I think Canelo has been, for a while, a diminishing fighter. Call it age, call it whatever other things you want to call it. But I just think that, the only reason he's even still around at this level is because he's avoided his top contenders in his weight class, so he's been able to still remain champion at that weight class. And now, being champion at that weight class, it has sort of brought up this big opportunity to fight a smaller, excellent world champion in Terence Crawford. So I think when it comes to the levels of boxing, just straight from boxing perspective, I think Crawford is head and shoulders above Canelo. But, they do make weight classes for a reason. Canelo is still very strong. He's a good body puncher, and he's a bigger guy naturally. So that does bring a bit of a risk to the table. I think Crawford can win the fight. I just wonder whether he can get a decision. That's always the question with Canelo, right? Can Canelo get a decision? I mean, can Crawford get a decision over Canelo? Can anybody get a decision over Canelo? We know Bivol did, but Bivol essentially won a 10-2, 11-1 fight, and they barely gave it to him.
Yeah, good point. Good point. You're
so that's.
Paulie, there's a lot made of, jumping up 2 weight divisions. We saw Sugar Ray Leonard do it against Marvin Hagler, and the greats can actually do that, can't they? And when you see them head-to-head, actually, Terence Crawford, he's filled out very, very well. And you're right, if it comes down to just weight divisions, because I think that Terence Crawford is head and shoulders above, as does Simon as well when it comes to boxing IQ and ring craft. But I go, when you look at it, and we're all talking about the weight division, that could be the factor, I don't see it being a factor.
Boxing analysts have been vocal in questioning the reasoning behind choosing Terence Crawford to defeat Canelo Alvarez. They argue that much of this belief stems from Canelo's past loss to Floyd Mayweather, a fight that took place when Canelo was still young and far from his prime. Experts stress that this single defeat is often misunderstood by fans who use it as a point to undermine Canelo's greatness. In reality, losing to Mayweather is not a blemish on a career, but rather an experience shared by many who dared to step into the ring with him. Mayweather retired with an undefeated record of 50-0, and he is celebrated as the greatest defensive boxer in history. Facing such a master of the craft so early in his career provided Canelo with lessons that have shaped him into the fighter he is today.
Where the fuck did all of this Bud hype come from? Where every video I'm watching on this internet, everybody is saying that Bud is going to smoke Canelo. Look, I get it. When he was saying, I'm going to stomp a mud hole, when he's like, told Canelo, I'm going to stomp a mud hole in your ass. What? Bud ain't stomping shit. He ain't stomping a mud hole in shit. He may think he's going to do it. It's okay that he thinks that. It's okay that that is his intentions. But everybody online is believing this shit. Like you forgot, like Canelo's a fucking punk. And let me tell you something. Can we be honest here? Canelo was one of the most gangster motherfuckers in boxing, bro. Bro, this is the same Canelo who had a fight and was in negotiation with some motherfucking gangsters that kidnapped his brother at the time. And then went in there and beat the guy with your negotiation ransoms to get your brother released from some motherfucking mobsters. Yeah, see, y'all ain't learned. Like I said, like when Caleb Plant, he's used to smacking people and getting away with it and punking people. You see what happened when he tried to do that shit to Canelo, right? I bet you Bud won't do that to Canelo. You see when he tried to punk Canelo, you saw what Canelo did, right? When he tried to step.
Please subscribe my YouTube channel, Boxing Fight Scope, for latest news of boxing.